Hey guys, what up? Alpha here, and today I'm going to bring you my TG Stun deck profile. After some extensive testing, I have decided this is the deck that I'll be running at YCS Brighton. Really confident with it, won locals with it yesterday, so happy with the build. I'll just get straight into the deck profile. I run 3 Reborn Tengu, pretty much staple in TG Stun decks really. Really hard beat to get over if it's a 25. 3 Photon Sabre Tiger, the new card out in Photon Shockwave. Really like this card actually. It's like a mini gadget engine and you get your plus off it immediately, whereas with TGs obviously you have to get the end of 10 destruction for the search, so you can synchro with this without worrying about your potential minuses. And also it allows you access to rank 3 and exceeds, and when you get 2 out you can beat over Thunder King, which is really nice. Baits out Thunder King really well if you've got a bottomless first turn or whatever. Then 3 Rush Rhino, pretty much staple, beats over Thunder King and starts off your TG engine. 2 Striker. 3 is too much, but 1 is too little, so 2 seems the optimal amount for that, and you really like the synchro options, so, and also having more TGs means your engine goes on for longer without needing any Avarice. And then finally 1 Warwolf. I'm not a big fan of this card, but I think you need it in there just to give the deck versatility and more synchro options, because obviously if you synchro with the TG engine you miss your searches at the end, so it's potential minuses, but I think it's better to have the synchro options there than to just set, get the search, and then hope you top deck into something. And finally, 2 Thunder King Rai-Oh, just because it's just so good, this format. I would run 3 if I had space, but I don't. It doesn't conflict with TG Engine or Sabre Tiger at all, really, because I normally just keep it out by itself, maybe with a Tengu if I can. Just keep poking on its own. And then when your opponent does get rid of it by going for a synchro or whatever, then I can go into the stuff. I can flip skill drain on it as well if I really have to, but yeah, that's the monsters. Not that many, but you ideally want to draw into 1 or 2 monsters max opening hand, so that's fine. Spells, pretty much staple, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, MST. I only main 1 MST, this is just personal preference. I don't really think you need more than 1 MST mained. Obviously there are, if your opponent mains Decrease or something, or mains Defissure, that can be quite a problem. But I can normally play around it unless I draw quite badly. Obviously I side the second 2. I don't main Book of Moon either, just because I feel all of the other cards in the deck should have priority over it really, and I also don't run Heavy Storm because I run a lot of non-chainable traps. I may side the heavy, but I'm normally fine in the mirror and against GKs, so this is fine as it is. Then 3 Pot of Duality. This card puts in so much work in the deck. It's just really good just to get you out of bad situations. One of the best resources you're going to have in the deck because you don't special summon that often, so. Then creature removal, 2 Smashing Ground. This card is incredible. I've been tempted to run 3 after playtesting with it. It's just honestly so good because loads and loads of decks this format are running big boss monsters, and it just means you can play a bit more aggressively and not fear Gores or Tragodia, stuff like that too much. Just a really nice resource to have there. And finally, 1 creature swap to go in with sort of the creature removal and control. Being able to set a TG creature swap, attack into it, get the end of 10 search, or set a Tengu and attack in, get your other Tengu and then attack is really nice. I've run this over TG1. I know TG1 is chainable, which is awesome, but you only run 6 TGs in the deck. This works really well with Tengu and Sabre Tiger as well, so I think this is just more live more often, and you can play it the turn you draw it. So if you don't like these cards, there are other cards you could try, like Econ, because you run the Tengus, although you don't get your search, and also Forbidden Lance, because getting your like Rush Rhino D-Prison sucks, so. And also Lance with one of the Phantom Beasts is really nice, but I just much prefer these, because Smashing Ground is just better than going like Econ and the Thunder King or whatever, so it's really good. And finally 1 Pot of Avarice, just because you run a lot of sort of engines which keep going, so being able to recycle like your Tengus, Tigers and TGs, or Thunder Kings if you need them again, is really nice. So that's the spells. Quickly go on to the traps. Torrential, Mirror Force, Dustshoot, shouldn't really have to explain them, apart from maybe Mirror Force. I do think D-Prison is much better than Mirror Force, but I main 3D Prison as well, so Mirror Force is just natural progression really. And 1 Compulse, really like this card. I was originally running 2, and you can definitely get away with running 2 of this card. It's really nice this format, just because having instant out to Zenmaines or any random synchro exceeds is really nice. But as again, same thing with Thunder King, I didn't really feel like a second one warranted place over any of the other cards in the deck, but whenever you draw this you'll always have utility for it, so it's a really good card. Then 3D Prison, I know I've only got 2 here, but I've actually lost my other one because I'm an idiot. But yeah, 3D Prison, really, really good card, not much more I can say about that. 2 Bottomless, it's probably worth pointing out I don't run Warning, and the reason why is because I run 3 Skill Drain, which pays 1,000 life points for each. Paying more life points is a bit sketchy because there are still decks that can just OTK out of nowhere, so being in the lower range of life points is quite risky. And I also feel like for this deck, Bottomless hits pretty much everything Warning does, especially under Skill Drain, because I don't get their trigger or ignition effects off. And also Bottomless, it's better against my matchups which are bad game 1, such as Dark Worlds, because Warning pretty much, apart from their tour guide, and maybe if they synchro with Raven, Warning doesn't really do anything. So Bottomless is really nice. I don't really miss the Warnings, it's personal preference, you could run them if you want, but I don't. Then 3 Horn of the Phantom Beast, this card is honestly incredible. I wouldn't run the deck without it, really. If you can get this up and poking every turn with like a Tengu or something and plussing when you have back rows to protect you, you're basically going to win, because you're plussing every turn drawing 1 or 2 cards, which is really, really nice. 2 Starlight Road. I was originally running 3, but you don't want to draw multiples of it. But yeah, I think this card is really necessary at least 2, because the deck plays at its full potential when you are able to set 4 and go, and also means you can play a bit more aggressively and not fear the Torrential or Mirror Force that much, so really, really key card. Really nice to draw into 1, but the second one sucks, unless you've already gone through it, so. And finally, 3 Skill Drain. I know a lot of decks only run 2, but this is just a complete meta call. This card cripples so many decks, and it benefits you in so many ways as well. This can pose a couple of problems if they do drop like a BLS or something, but you have Smashing Ground, Creature Swap, just generic outs like that, so this card is honestly incredible. I would never run less than 3 this format, it's so good. So yeah, that's the main deck. 41 cards. The reason it's 41 is just because I don't really want to take anything out, and also 41 in theory means I'm less likely to draw into multiples of Tengu or TGs or Sabre Tigers or whatever, so that is the main. I'll quickly do the extra. I apologise, I am missing a few cards that I will be getting before Brighton, but I'll just explain what they are. 1 Utopia, the only rank 4 XCs I run, just really nice to have there as an option. It means you can play around Trigodia, you can play around Roach if your opponent has it, and it's just really nice to have a 2500 beta that can negate attacks or just be under Skill Drain. Rank 3 XCs, Leviathan Dragon, pretty obvious, and then the other 2 I'm missing are Zenmaines and Leviair. Zenmaines is obviously incredible, and Leviair, just because people like to banish your TGs with Deprison and stuff, it's useful to be able to bring them back, and also a lot of decks like Plants and Chaos will just have random useful stuff in their RFG that you can just grab. So I'll get those before Brighton. So, and the one of the 2 synchros I'm missing is Catastor as well, level 5 Catastor. You can make level 5 pretty easily in the deck because you run Striker, which you can just special, and then Warwolf you can also special, or you can go Special Striker, normal Sabre Tiger, get your search, and then synchro. So the only other level 5 I play is TG Wonder Magician. I don't go into this that often, to be perfectly honest, but it's just a nice resource to have there if I can get into the Warwolf and the Striker, just to pop a back row and then plus or synchro your opponent's turn. Then onto the 6 stars, Brionac is pretty much staple, shouldn't have to explain that. Gaia Knight is actually really, really good in this deck, apart from the fact it's 2600 beta, which can beat on just over a hell of a lot of stuff. Under Skill Drain, your opponent has to use a hell of a lot of resources to get over this guy, so he's really key. And 1 Barkion. You can make this with Striker and Rhino, or if you side in Wanghu, you can make it with Striker and Wanghu. Just a really good card. If you've read they haven't got a warning, just go into it and not fear the Bottomless, Deprison, or whatever they have face down. Really good in the mirror against GKs or whatever, so just a nice resource to have. Then the 7 stars, Black Rose Dragon and Ancient Fairy Dragon. You can't actually make these without using Monster Reborn or Leviair, but they're just really nice to have there, because Black Rose is obviously staple, and Ancient Fairy, you can wall against Rabbit with it in defense mode, and you can pop your opponent's field spell, and I side in a field spell as well, so it's quite good. Then 8 stars, 2 Stardust, obviously for the Starlight Road, and I'll also be running a Scrap Dragon, which I don't have at the moment, but I will be getting one for Brighton. So yeah, Scrap Dragon, obviously pretty staple. Then Trishula, because it's just Trishula, you need to run it, and you can make it pretty easily as well with Striker, Warwolf, and then summon Tengu or Rush Rhino or Thunder King if you have to. And finally 1 Chimeratech because I side Cyber Dragon. Quickly onto the side deck because this is going quite Stardust Dragon on a go. 2 King Tiger Wanghu. This card is really good this format. Hits so many decks if you can open with it or just play, because it hits plants, loads and loads. Apart from Thunder King, there's not really much they can play to just beat over it generically. Agents, obviously, they can't go Earth. They can't. Well, they can go Earth, but it's destroyed immediately. Venus can't summon any Shine Ball. Well, these destroys the Shine Balls immediately when they summon them off Venus. So it just forces them to drop Hyperion early game, which is really useful if you have like Skill Drain and Bottomless set or something like that. Just a really useful card. Like, it hits Karakuris a hell of a lot as well. Just really useful. Oh, and it also you can equip Pawn of the Phantom Beast with it, so which is good. I side 2 Spirit Reaper mainly for the Rabbit matchup because it can stall out. They have a real hard time trying to get over Reaper. They might have to use an Econ or a Lance to get over it, which is, I'm happy for them to waste that resource, or a Smashing Ground if they side it, but just stall out. It's also quite good against plants as well, because they have to use a fair amount of resources to get over it. So yeah, just a good card to side at the moment. I side 2 Cyber Dragons, mainly for Karakuris, just because I want to be able to sweep their board. I might change this to System Down, possibly, but at the moment Cyber Dragons are testing fine, because you can side them in against a lot of decks at the moment. Then I also side 1 Fossil Dyna, just generic anti-meta against anything that special summons a lot. Sure, you've got to be careful when you play it, because it can destroy your Tengus and stuff, but it's just really useful to have there, especially against Rabbit as well. Then onto the spells, I side 2 Leeching the Light for Agents, 2 MST because you kind of have to, like Dark Worlds and anything that runs continuouses or a lot of back rows for the mirror or whatever. Then this card probably needs some explaining. 2 Necro Valley. The reason I side this card, there are a couple of reasons actually. Firstly, it's good against plants, obviously, because plants hate Necro Valley and GKs. It's quite good against agents as well, because it forces them to banish an agent from their hand to get the Hyperion out, which is potential minuses for them. But the main reason I side this card is for Dark Worlds, which might seem like an odd choice, but there were 2 cards that really killed the deck. Well, obviously Gates of the Dark World is their whole engine, so by playing Necro Valley you can just get rid of it straight away. Obviously there is the issue that they can then play their field spell to get rid of the Necro Valley as well. But the other card which was really going to hurt me is Dark Smog, and also DD Crow as well. Anything that can stop my end of turn TG search. So just Necro Valley does not hurt me at all, apart from Avarice and Monster Reborn, which I side out for these 2 anyway. So this is just a really nice meta call. Hurts a lot of decks, but Dark World is the main one, which is a particularly bad matchup game one. It's normally about 50-50 whether I win or not, so being able to side in this is really helpful. Obviously against plants and agents it's really good as well. And finally, 2 Shadow-Imprisoning Mirror, more Dark World hate, or for like random Blackwings or Infinities you face. So that's the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any feedback, just drop me a comment, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Bye.